In this video, we'll be reviewing the Seiko Daydate. I always love Seiko because they seem to fit my 5.5-inch wrist and they're super comfy. This specific watch was made in the late 80s or early 90s. Seikos are extremely easy to date, and if you didn't know, there's a website where you can enter the movement number, the serial number, and it'll tell you exactly where your Seiko's from. It gives you a visual reference and it shows you which numbers to punch in where, and overall it's just super easy to use. These watches can be usually found around 200, and I also found the silver one, which is the exact same watch from what I can tell. It's just in a silver case. You could also go for the similar Seiko 5 models. I personally prefer this one because it doesn't have the Seiko 5 logo on it. Starting with the case, this watch has a 36mm diameter. It's a very familiar Seiko case that they all use. It's kind of flat, but it has those curved lugs, so it works on a wide variety of wrists. The lug to lug on this one is only 42mm, which is pretty compact, but I think that you could definitely pull this off on a larger wrist. It's 10mm thin, which is pretty thin for an automatic movement with complications. It's just overall a really nice case that sits really well on your wrist. This watch has a 20mm lug width, so it means it'll work on a variety of different straps, but I'd like to say that you can definitely keep this one on the bracelet, and we'll talk about why the bracelet's so good later on. I have this hybrid lifestyle where I'm on the computer a lot, but I'm also really active, and so I've really been enjoying this G-Shock. Something I've noticed is the strap when I'm on the computer, it doesn't bother me when I'm typing on the computer. But as I was wearing the Seiko for a while, I noticed that the bracelet kind of like, it bugged me that it scraped the laptop. And obviously this is any bracelet watch, but I just thought I'd throw it in here. Looking at the dial, it has applied markers and an applied logo. There's only one line of text, which is 17 joules. There's technically another one. Right below the logo, there's automatic text. It's got the classic Seiko Daydate complication on the right side. Well, the hands are loomed, but the markers aren't loomed, but there are little pips outside of the markers that are loomed. It doesn't really offer a lot of legibility, but the loom still does work. You can definitely see the hands for sure. Like I said, the movement's automatic. It has that Daydate complication. This one specifically has kind of an odd quick set. Don't engage the quick set in between the hours of 9 and 6, as it can damage the movement. I've personally never had this happen. It's just something that I saw that you should look out for. So if you want to switch up the date, you have to use like a regular quick set would be, but if you want to change the day, you have to push in on the crown. And something I noticed about the crown is you can really tell that like the crown has been worn away, and I wonder if that's from just using it or pushing on it a lot. We'll mention that later when we talk about gold watches in general. I work in a restaurant where we need to know the date so we can date like food to make sure it doesn't go bad. I'm also a college kid, so I'm always writing dates on papers and stuff, so having the Daydate complications actually been really helpful. Back to the dial, it has a really cool fluted bezel surrounding it. It surprised me it didn't have many scratches, but it did collect a little bit of dirt. If you are buying one of these vintage watches, I think something to look out for that would work against the price is how well the bezel has stood up to time. Like, is it worn away? Is it still shiny? Because I mean, I feel like it'd be really hard to polish this bit, and it's a pretty cool part of the watch, so it's definitely something to look out for. Onto the bracelet. This bracelet's super comfortable. It's fully articulating, which I think is really important for Jubilee bracelets. It makes it super comfy. It's very breathable, and what I love about this is it has like six micro adjustment holes. I think new watches are getting down to like 2 or 3, or some aren't even offering it, and it's crazy to think that like it's possible to add a ton of micro adjustments. I don't know why new watches aren't doing that, and the reason why having so much micro adjustment is important on these watches is because of how irritating the link system on it. Especially this watch, it has the ones where you have to push out the pins. Over time, like gunk gets in there and it gets like super stiff and hard to get the links out. The clasp is really thin. Other than the lots of micro adjustment, it's pretty standard Seiko clasp. It hasn't rubbed off very much, and the scratches are to a minimum. You know, there really aren't many scratches on this one. On the sides of the bracelet, it's kind of rubbed away a little bit, so if you're looking for one of these watches, try to get one that still has all of the gold plating on it. The case back's steel, and that means that when it's rubbing against your wrist, it won't wear away as quickly, and you still have perfect visibility of all the serial numbers and everything important. I love on the back of these case backs how they leave a lot of room for engraving. I have a really special Rolex that's been engraved. Something about engraving watches makes it really special. Nowadays, there's just a bunch of open case backs, and as cool as they are, they don't leave a lot of room for creative engravings. I want to talk about pros now, and this watch has a lot of well done homage cues. So obviously it looks like a Rolex Daydate, but it has the Seiko cues to it. So it has the 4 o'clock crown. The Daydate is in the Seiko position. The hands are different, and the case shape is not the oyster case. It's most definitely like that Seiko SNX case. I think there's enough changes done to it where it looks like, you know, it's not trying to be a Rolex, but it is trying to have that style of like rich and luxury, and I think it works. Another pro is I said that it was super comfortable. It wears really well. I could totally see like a larger man wearing this watch. There are a couple cons that come with these type of watches. The PVD plating or whatever plating, gold plating, whatever it is, it wears off over time. This watch won't last forever. This watch is about 30 years old maybe, and it's lasted fairly well. I wouldn't be opposed to buying these watches and understanding that they won't last forever. If you want a gold watch that's gonna last forever, you gotta start looking into more of like solid gold. Another thing to add on to that is that these gold platings can look kind of cheap depending on what they used and what outfit you're wearing and what your skin tone is. And it's overall a lot harder to style and pull off gold than it is just to pull off any stainless steel. I once had a girl tell me she didn't like my silver watch because it didn't match my gold jewelry. Joke's on her because I don't wear jewelry anymore. Wrapping it up, I think that this watch is amazing. If it fits your budget and you want that gold look, you should totally go for any gold plated watches. If you have the budget for solid gold, maybe try that one out too. I don't. I'm in college right now. I'm on a college budget, but I've been enjoying wearing this one, and you should definitely try one out if you have a chance to get one at an affordable price. If you want to see a watch with a really cool 18 karat bezel, then you should check out this video right here, or you should check out my state of the collection video, and I'll see you over there. I got this really nice comment about this guy saying that like there's no weird marketing, and I really appreciate that. These videos aren't cheap to make, so if you could just like even like and subscribe, that means the world to me.